So you clicked on this video to find out what the best attachment is for a certain weapon. Well, I'm gonna cut all the BS and just get straight into it. I'll be going over the best loadouts for all attackers and defenders and explain the controversies between certain attachments and eventually hopping into the game to show you a real life example. Now let's set some context. You all have heard just use what's comfortable, use personal preference. Yes, to an extent that is true, but you should worry about all that after you've gotten the recoil and the right utility down. It's like a homeless person saying, oh, when I'm a millionaire, I'm gonna want this, and that. Okay, well, let's focus on making money first and then we can make those decisions. Striker, we're using the M4, secondary shotgun, and the most popular combo is either the EMPs and hard breach or the flashbangs and grenades. This is because Sentry can basically fill whatever gap your team needs in utility. L85, pistol, breaching charges for rotates, or claymores if you're watching for hopouts on Windows. R4C, M4 over the 5.7 just because of damage for finishing off enemies fast. We'll be using a muzzle. Most of the time, breaching charges because you're making space for the team. Claymores if you're playing passive with Ash, which is very rare. 5.56, M4, stun grenades. Now, stun grenades is better for masking the sound, and smoke grenades are better for a strat you have pre-planned to block off lines of sight. Both are fine, to be honest, for thermite. If you're on console, I would recommend the F2 because you guys have lower recoil. But if you're PC, I would recommend the DMR for accuracy, and this thing is a 69 damage a shot. Muzzle Break, of course, and I know the F2 actually has, I think, better recoil with muzzle. I could be wrong because I'm using it in a while for all the different metas, but let me know in the comments below what you guys use for the F2. And yeah, you could use it for PC, but you're putting more effort into the recoil than you need. If you have a sharp shot, go for the revolver, but remember, pistols are for finishing off an enemy after your main gun fails. Claymores are good if you're watching your hop outs when you're droning, or smoke grenades if you just need them conveniently in the round. Use the P9 on Monty, it's just better for more ammo. Always run hard breaching gadget or EMP depending on what your team needs, but this is like so you're a secondary hard breacher. Obviously, main sniper, I would recommend using the bearing 9. Gun 6 is, again, you run out of ammo on your sniper, which is very rare. You're not whipping out the gun 6 in mid-fight. Bearing 9 is good for close quarter range in my attachments. Obviously, use smokes on glass because you're glass, but you know, grenades are good for if you're looking for more of a decent entry. Fuse, you're already slow enough, so using the LMG is kind of personal preference, but just use the AK. It's still a very good gun. Again, highest damage pistol is usually the best, high fire rate, and I would recommend hard breaching gadget for opening a hatches if you're done fusing. You could use breaching charge if you're looking for more vert. Again, personal preference. Not many options here. Just use muzzle and laser just for less recoil and faster ADS time. Smoke grenades are good for blocking off lines of sight to get closer to your enemies. Raging charges are very rare. IQ is a 3-speed with very low recoil gun, so G8 or the Commando is a popular pick. AUG just takes up too much of your screen. Attachments for the Commando, attachments for the G. Whoa, okay, hold on. I think I was trolling on this one. Yo, give me a second, bro. All right, this is a little bit better. Actually, this is probably the first gun we've gone against, but you could actually use the horizontal grip if you wanted, and I'll be explaining that later in the video. Suppressor is recommended on IQ because you're doing your job and you are less to be found out, but it is personal preference if you want to be sneaky. Breaching charges if you're trying to make, you know, some vert, but grenades are good for clearing out gadgets you see. C8 on buck, flash, laser. You could use the DMR, but again, it's just the efficiency. The C8 is a better gun. Along with a pistol, and use flashbangs. Don't use claymores on buck. You're always in the building already with flashbangs. BB, there's been a big debate about what the faster ADS time is, and honestly, I don't think it matters too much, but the assault rifle is the better pick because of the faster ADS time. Recoil is not the biggest issue because you're already going to be in their face, so you could use extendo barrel and horizontal grip. Because BB is very rare that you're sprinting or at least just pulling out your gun like mid-fight, but these attachments will give you the fastest time to use Blackbeard. You can use the DMR if you do have a good timing with their crosshair placement, and these are my attachments for it. Always run grenades on Blackbeard just because you're clearing a utility and you're first in the building like Blitz. Cap, if you want to use suppressing fire, you could use the LMG. Otherwise, the AR is probably a better pick for more faster ADS time. Since he's already a utility, very heavy type of operator, you're already kind of playing a little passive with him, so it's kind of a little bit better to have the Gon 6 along with hard breaching gadgets. With this gadget, he's pretty underrated. The only thing he can't do is just open up soft walls. That is if you're not using the whole mag LMG, but I assume none of you guys are doing that. Type 89 with this attachments along with the bearing 9 and flashbangs. It is actually a viable case to use this shotgun on Hibana if you're looking for those fast entries after opening of the breach, along with breaching charges if you want to make some vert for your team. But typically, you already have a vert player, and the shotgun SMG combo is always a good one, especially on defense. The C7 is Jackal's probably one of the best guns in the game right now, but the PDW is good because of the high recoil or high ammo, and it's just a decent weapon compared to the C7. These two options are the best. Obviously, always run a shotgun, secondary shotgun, if you have the option for rotates and close range fights. But actually, that's a lie. We all know when we whip out this secondary shotgun, it just teases the enemy, doesn't even kill them. And use smoke grenades is just more practical if you're already in the building besides claymores. Shotgun for Ying if you're going for those close rushes and closing the gaps with the smokes. Otherwise, just use the regular AR. Typically, I like to hide the identity of Ying like early on in the round with Suppressor. Otherwise, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can get away with the horizontal grip because, again, you are going to be, sprinting through your Yings. But a pro thing I actually see is when you're Ying at an enemy and you're sprinting to them, it is better just to pull out your pistol to sprint at them because it's faster to kill them. I would only recommend running hard breaching gadgets if it's part of a team, but otherwise you kind of need the smokes to help just make a better sneakier rush. Actually, now I think about it, Ying and sneaky in the same sentence is kind of crazy. It's like using Asian and 6 foot in the same sentence. It just doesn't exist. For the love of God, just use the M7 on Zofia with these attachments. If you're using the LMG, you're either cheating or new to the game. But just in case if you are a cheater watching this video, these are my attachments. Pistol, obviously, and claymores or hard breach is very personal preference because Zof, hard breaching gadgets can be useful sometimes, but claymores because you're kind of posting up somewhere and you don't want to get hopped out on while using your gadget. Doke, guys, this is like the most popular operator in the game. Just use the DMR with these. You can use horizontal because DMRs are very low recoil in general, and just use the SMG-12. The only reason I wouldn't say the Gon 6 is just because the SMG-12 is just too good of a gun to give up by. But if you're confident in your DMR, you could use that Gon 6. You also got stun grenades. I would recommend all of this because if you're calling someone, you might not need all the other ones, but EMPs are good for your hard breachers. Lion has a very strong kit. The AR is fine, or the DMR, AR, same attachments. I would recommend, again, the P9. The only thing of the revolver, and I know I did say if an operator has like a secondary pistol that does more damage, it's just that the revolver is kind of a clunkier gun to use. The P9 is still pretty decent, 45 damage a shot, and most likely your enemy's already on 45 HP. Amazing secondary gadgets. I would recommend the flashes or the grenades more just for clearing out utility. Finka, I would 100% recommend the LMG. The AR is okay, but dude, the LMG, especially when you're spraying that thing and you can just heal yourself, my favorite weapon in the game easily on attack. But these are okay for the spear as well. PMM and grenades, just because she's a freaking entry operator. Mav M4, same attachments, but the DMR is decent. The only issue about the DMR is that it has 11 bullets, which is not that suitable. Smokes or flashbangs are decent. Flashes are just better for gunfights. But you could use claymores for countering bandit triggers as well on the wall. Basically, you place it down and then you make a little mav hole and the grenade claymore goes off immediately when they see the bandit. Nomad, ARX over the AK just because of fire rate and damage. Listen, brother, you're not Han Solo. You're not hitting that shot. If I see a Nomad whip out this gun, it's like spectating someone using the Jinxie Charm in a clutch. We're cooked. And just use stun grenades because most of the time you don't need to make anything. You don't need to blow anything up on a flank watch type of operator. And as you go in this video, I'm not really going to show my attachments if it's the same flash vert. I'll explain that later. Only if it has different unique attachments that you guys need. F90, super shotgun, and grenades. EMPs are still decent for, again, for wall denial. Honestly, all these secondaries are fine. LMG is pretty decent, but F90, oh my god, that shit buzz. Don't run the knock shotgun. You need the range of the FMG. And Deagle, I would recommend Suppressor for shooting default camps if needed. Otherwise, you just walk past them. But grenades or Harbinger Gadget are probably the best. G8 or the Supernova are actually both. If you look at Amaru's kit, she has literally like the best dynamic duos. You have either the shotgun and SMG-11, or you have the G8 and a shotgun, or even a Gon 6. But come on, like, you don't really need the Gon 6 sometimes mid-fight because you're already kind of rushing the enemy. And again, both these are very good secondary gadgets. Kali, not much to say. Just use this SMG over the others for iron sight reasons. Again, if you want to post up, you can use claymores. Otherwise, smoke grenades are good as well. Ayana, G36, and ARX are both very good primaries. You could... Actually, I don't know why I was using horizontal grip. I don't know. Personal preference, but for the most part, just more damage on the ARX, low recoil. Use Gun 6 because she doesn't really have much other breakable like utility, and EMPs as well. AK-12, pistol, and personal preference here. 0, I'm especially using this loadout, and I'll be explaining later why people out there be deep meat riding the freaking extendo barrel. But I mean, 0 is a Swiss Army knife. We got Harbage and Gadget and Gun 6. And if you want to use the MP7, go ahead. But come on, bro. You're choosing an SMG over an AR on attack. Flores, DMR is still pretty decent for kind of a passive or, you know, play style, but ARs is a little bit more efficient. I will say sometimes I do use a suppressor, and I will be explaining later in the video why I use it. Otherwise, I would recommend stun grenades for helping clear out utility. And also masking the sound so that we can get Flores thrown in without the sound being covered. Now, both these primaries are very good on OSA, doesn't really matter too much. Regular pistol and probably EMPs. You could EMP C4s as soon as they land, or grenades. It's totally up to you. It honestly just depends how you do play the shield too. DMR is honestly better than her SMG, but you can just use the pistol, and gadget doesn't really matter too much for grenades, or, you know, it depends on your playstyle. All these are very good gadgets though. Grim shotgun, I will admit it's actually kind of nasty, but just use the commando. Bailiff, because, you know, open up soft walls, and honestly all very good gadgets. I would recommend EMPs for the most part though. Brava, probably the Para is better than the DMR. I mean, it's just easier to use. Secondary shotgun and smokes or claymores, doesn't really matter. Ram, again, secondary gadget, are both very good for her playstyle, but do not use the LMG. You're already slow enough. Use the R4C. Rarely I use a shotgun on Deimos because you can already open up hatches close range with the Vendetta, but AK for long range, and both of these are very situational. Aurora, it's better just to use the DMR because DMRs are freaking OP right now. LMG is eh. You could use the King Von special, but I mean, that shit got hella recoil. I mean, most of the time, if you're playing Aurora in the first place, I don't know if you're trying to win or not. She's decent, though. But I would recommend smokes just for helping close off lines of sight, so that way you can put your things down. That's all for attack. Let's move on to defense now. Sentry, highly recommend the Commando Super Shorty combo, or vice versa. Now, best gadgets, I would say, is the C4 impact grenades or deployable shield. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, all of these are good, probably except for observation blockers. I mean, if you're playing Sentry in the first place, you're already bringing what your team needs anyway, so just use your head. Smoke, SMG, shotgun, no question asked. If I ever see you running the SMG or the pistol on smoke, I'm gonna DK you. I prefer barbed over proxies because barb provides more physical sound and, you know, resistance, allows me more time to throw my smokes. But proxies do make good for freaking out the enemy and hearing it through walls. Same thing for mute, you know, SMG, shotgun. Nitrocell over BP, just because nitro can kill people. Castle, use the UMP. Now, it's a low recoil gun. You could use extended barrel if you want. Secondary shotgun. BPers or BP doesn't really matter. Pulse, do not use a shotgun. Just do not use it. I've never seen a successful pulse shotgun since year 1. UMP, better for range. High damage pistol, always use C4. If I see a pulse using observation blocker, we're on copper. Doc, honestly, all very good options, but we all know MP5 is the king. Bailiff for rotates. Barbed wire or BP is fine. Rook, oh my, we might be in copper. I don't know. Okay, oh, yo, I was definitely trolling. Do not copy this loadout. No. If anything, maybe edit this out, bro. I know some people are gonna use this loadout and actually use it for serious, but P9 impact grenades, SMG, PM. I would say Nitrocell, but RIP Capcan, can we get an F in the chat? Barbed wire BP is fine. The Lord, if you're trying to make some good rotates, go the LMG. But if you want an ACOG, then you can use the SMG. Now, I don't really know why they gave him a bearing 9. I feel like they should have gave him a super shoddy, but I feel like that would defeat the purpose of his LMG. Shield or barbed wire is probably best just for, again, firing off enemies from a safe perspective. Jaeger shotgun is actually good close range, but most of the time you should run the carbine with bulletproof camera. Bandit shoddy if you're playing close range, but most of the time MP7 for range and C4. Do not run barbed wire bandit. I know you can put bandit charges on your barbed wire. I know it looks cool, but it does nothing. I actually use extended barrel on Frost just because of the low recoil shotgun, and Frost's BP versus shield is very dependent on how you play her. BP for overall team info, even after you're dead, or a shield if you're trying to hold a good spot. MPX, Deagle, C4. Do not use impacts on Valkyrie. Both primaries on Cav are honestly fine. I would just say use impacts though. SMG or shotgun is honestly fine for Echo because you get the ACOG or you get the close range because you have the bearing 9 for a secondary anyways. If you're playing pretty passive, then you can use the shield. Otherwise, impacts are good for dealing with shields and late round rotations with your yokais. Okay, I will say Mira, you can get away with using extendo barrel just because of the low recoil. Otherwise, you can use the secondary shotgun. Never use the main one. This ain't no 2018 Fortnite. We ain't double pumping out here. And use C4. Okay, my boy Region, we're gonna be using the SMG with, actually you could get away, actually never mind. Do not use extended barrel on Legion. That shit is fucking ass. Super shorty for rotates. BP is a little bit better than observation blockers. Just information. If you use LS shotgun, you're a menace, but just please just use the LMG or the SMG pistol. Honestly, all these gadgets are fine depending on your playstyle. For wiggle, we have no longer the boss tree just because of the drop off damage. K1A is a little bit better, more situational. I personally always like the K1A a little bit better, but come on, you can't resist the boss tree when it be doing hella damage. SMG 12 and impacts for getting out of sticky situations. LMG, now the ACS is actually decent sometimes, but the kill potentials are very low with it. Oh, but Athieno is a 2-shot gun. Come on, we're not using this gun sometimes. Tap fire it. It's okay. It's similar to a DMR, but it's just slow fire rate. LMG is a bit more practical. We have the secondary shotgun and impacts. I would recommend impacts for like destroying ace charges, any utility like shields. Barbed wire is decent, but I mean, you already have the cameras to keep people at distance anyways. But it depends on the bomb site. You could use the observation blockers to help block out where the Maestro cams are, but it's not practical. Arabai, we have the Storm. You could use extendo barrel because of the low recoil, but I will say the ACS is decent because she's a fast moving operator, but unless you're cheating, just use the Storm. Bailiff, and no more impacts on her or shield. RIP, and we'll just be using proxies. Clash, I mean, it's probably better to use the SMG. Shotgun it's very, you know, close quartered. Sometimes you might not want it. Any of these gadgets are decent however we want to fill weakness of their bomb site. But I would say probably barbed or impacts are better than the shield because come on, a shield bringing a shield. That's like using your hand to block out the sun when you already have a hat and shades on. Use the TCSG. If I like, it's an IQ test. If I see anyone using the AUG over the TCSG, I know they're new to the game or copper. Again, IQ test if they're using the Han Solo pistol over the revolver. Always run C4. If you're good with headshots and you like, you know, small range fights, then you can use the Roni, but Commando is a little bit more practical for longer gunfights. I mean, I know a lot about things that, you know, are small and pack a punch, but sometimes the Roni ain't it. C4 Amazi all the time. Warden has a very good loadout. I mean, MPX, low recoil, or you can use a shotgun SMG combo with C4 or shield if you're trying to play like a organ elbow or something like that. But C4 for the most time. TCSG and Vector are honestly pretty good on Goyle. Just always you run impacts on him. Proxies are very rare if you're holding large amounts of map control. Well, my AUG is actually pretty decent. It's a 2-3 shot kill. Otherwise, MP5 is probably the better weapon just for lower recoil. Doesn't take up half your screen. Keratos is good for making holes and rotates, but I actually prefer the P10 or P12 because I just spray a lot, but for the most part you should be running the Keratos and run impacts for dealing with shields and, you know, denying ace charges too. Oryx, SMG, Bailiff, barbed wire, or proxies is fine. Barusi, we're going to be using the SMG with shotgun and impacts. You could use BP, but impacts are better for, you know, dealing with shields and just overall are more efficient. Aruni DMR. I mean, come on, it's a DMR. That shit is a 2-shot kill. I would recommend probably BP over barbed wire most of the time, but it's dependent on the bomb site if you're, you know, missing a staircase, you know, being watched. T-Bird, SMG, secondary shotgun, and honestly, these are all fine. All right, I'm a Thorn shotgun user because when that trap goes off, I just go ham with her. But for the most part, I would just recommend just using the SMG, pretty high damage, SMG pistol, and both of these are fine. Azami, mommy, my wife. The ACS is decent only for like if you're playing tight angles, But for the most part, you shouldn't be holding angles in your Akiba or you're going to get pre-fired. So just use the SMG for burst fights. Deagle and impact grenades. Never barbed wire because, you know, sometimes you do need to break your own Akibas. Solris, we're going to be using the shotgun and SMG. I think most time you should be using the P90, but if you're a pretty skilled player with, like, you know, the shotgun SMG combo and you're good at controlling the range, use it. I would personally use proxy alarm just because, you know, I don't want to be having my scanner out and getting hit from somewhere I don't know, but BP is pretty decent for like sight. Fenrir, we're going to use bailiff SMG with BP. Tube, for the most part, the AR is pretty strong, but otherwise MPX is a decent pick. Always use C4. Scopos, we're just using the SMG with impacts. But that's all the operator loadouts. Now let's get into the controversies of certain attachments. Iron sights. I see people glaze the MP7 iron sights. Oh, it's so good. It's really decent and all that. But I'll be honest, I don't remember the last time seeing a high level player use iron sights. And the only people that glaze the iron sights are people in like flat. The honest truth is that you're better off just being more consistent with other scopes. Like that have actual like reticle. Now, by all means, at the end of the day, it is like the same magnifying scope, so like it's personal preference. But any other gun, you should not be using iron sights because iron sights in Siege are just, they take up too much of your screen, and the lower the magnification, the more of a disadvantage you're at. So the next time I see someone defending iron sights, let me see if you're a Call of Duty player and what rank you are in this game. Next, we have horizontal grip. I know I see people like, oh yeah, horizontal grip is good and all that. Now, if you're a console player, maybe because you guys have lower recoil, but PC, dude, you're asking for trouble on the recoil. I think horizontal grip is only decent if, again, it's personal preference, like you're a high level player already, you figured out most of the recoil, but horizontal grip is actually pretty decent on very low recoil weapons, maybe like Thermite's AR, or mostly I use them on DMRs because DMRs are one-shot guns and they don't have a lot of continuous recoil because they're, you know, only single shot. Maybe on defense you can get away with like on an SMG, but most of the time just use vertical grip because of better recoils, better gunfights. Next thing I will explain is laser. Oh, Athieno, but what if the enemy sees my laser? So what? They see your laser. The way I see a laser is no different than a sound cue of you like crouching or sprinting. The enemy will know a general direction, but most of the time the enemy already knows where you are. They just have to kind of nitpick through a lot of different angles. I would only recommend taking laser off of your shotguns because shotguns no longer benefit off of the laser hipfire spread, and you barely aim down sights with shotgun anyway, so I'd recommend just turning it off so that way you can hold hard angles with the shotgun safely. But for the most part, if I didn't already say it, laser adds faster ADS time. It's a new update in Siege. They no longer, what did the old lasers even do anyways? Oh yeah, it reduced hipfire spread, but now it's just only for faster ADS time because I think they wanted us to outrule the angle grip. Speaking of angle grip, angle grip is just like a little bit faster reload time, but you're already reloading behind cover anyway, so chalk the angle grip on any weapon. Anyone seeing this, I'm TKing you. Next, the debate on extendo barrel. Now, I do hear people like, oh, if you use Zero's gun or IQ's commando, you go from 45 damage to 50 damage. It's so good. Yes, it is pretty good, but you do sacrifice some recoil with it. Also, you do have to keep account if you shoot someone in the arm or from a different distance, it could be ending up more shots than that. But in Siege, the rule for gunfights is you want to land the first like 1 to 4 shots in your gunfight. That is why I say flash hider is best, because if your 1 to 4 bullets are easily on point, you're winning that gunfight better. Because if you're spraying an entire mag in a gunfight, bro, we are in copper. Obviously in the context if you're not pre-firing someone. So before I go over the godly loadout, I just want to say extendo barrel is honestly not worth it. You're better off getting better recoil, which leads into my next point of the best attachments that you guys saw me go for almost all my operators. Magnified B or ACOG with flash hider, with vertical grip and laser. And to give a quick definition, now flash hider used to be because of bird shots, but now they actually changed the attachments. Now flash hider only reduces the muzzle of vertical. Compensator removes the horizontal. Muzzle is for single shots like DMRs. Suppressor no longer has drop-off damage. It just removes the bullet trails and obviously reduces the noise, but you don't get any recoil buffs. And obviously extended barrel gives an extra like 5 damage during guns. But 90% of the time, people struggle recoil with vertical, which is why flash is better. Again, with vertical, or just reduces the vertical speed of the recoil. We don't need to reload faster, and we don't need to be, you know, sprinting right after ADSing right after sprinting, because that just promotes bad cross replacement most of the time. But again, like I said, horizontal is decent. But for the most part, this is the holy trident, you know, four head trident attachments. Okay, to add on to a suppressor a little bit, I would only recommend using suppressor because again, there's no drop off damage on it. I would only recommend using it on low recoil weapons, such as if you look on any weapon and you look down here at recoil pattern, if you can see the red dot, then it's a low recoil gun, because if you don't see the red dot, it means it's like all the way up here. Those are high recoil weapon guns that you want the assistance of flash hider. But for thermite, you can actually get away with suppressor, and you know, it's satisfying to hear someone, it sounds like they're getting hit with repeated bean bags. And one more time for the kids in the back, I only use muzzle brake on DMRs because of the single shot capability, and you can pair that with horizontal grip too. Okay, I'm actually halfway into recording this, and I want to touch up on what I said about the horizontal grip. I totally forgot to add that it does make a character a little bit faster. I mean, it says it in the text right here, it increases movement speed, but like, you know, if you're sprinting and you want ADS or horizontal grip, this helps out with that. So my apologies if I mixed that up in the video. And lastly, for scopes, the only 2 scopes you should be using in year 10 right now are either the 1X or the ACOG. Magnify A is also a decent option. It's just the 1.5, but you know, we're zoomed in. But if I ever see running the telescopic scopes, I know instantly this player is new to the game. The 3X is just way too zoomed in, and you're better off just only using ACOG. And most of the time, you're not going to be very familiar with the muscle memory on the telescopic, so just use ACOG. But to summarize all the loadouts up, anything that reduces recoil is 95% like better than all the other attachments. Once you've controlled recoil on every single weapon, then you can worry about personalizing horizontal, suppressor, you know, laser, no laser. But guys, let's focus on reaching a high level rank and controlling recoil before we go into personal preference. But now let's hop into a game and show off all the attachments to prove if I'm right or wrong. Okay, so let's see, what bomb site are they? Let's choose our operator based on the bomb site. Their gym. I hear they have a bandit. You know what? We're gonna take a gap. You know, some people say Blackbeard. Yeah, I'm using all the wrong attachments. Well, unpopular ones, but I'll show you guys that is actually decent. You know, we're using the horizontal grip for a bit better speed, faster ADS time, which I'm pretty positive that's what it does. And then, you know, hollow. I will point out, most of the time you do want to use a hollow or an ACOG over the 1X's on attack because of just the range. I thought someone was still there. So we're gonna, oh my god.
Bomb has been located.
Okay, he pulled out his 2-brow gadget, so that gave me time to ADS right there. I don't know what freezing me is gonna do, but oh, I don't have the DMR open hatch. But we're gonna use Blackbeard to take a gap in the defense. Okay, we're gonna pretend like we didn't see that. We're gonna use Blackbeard, take a gap in the defense. We got a 5v3. You can play a little more. Wow. Oh my god, there's 2 of them watching the drop. Amaru, get him. Get him, Amaru. Nice. We're gonna drop on this guy now. Can't do anything. He's stuck. Behind the reinforcement. As you guys can see, I can run decently fast. ADS fine. Boom. Fast ADS time with the laser. I can move a little faster with the horizontal grip. And faster aim down sights with a hollow versus an ACOG. But yeah, Blackbeard's a decent example for that. Let's run a different one. So maybe DMR. What does the people want to see? Oh, you know what? Let's show off Suppressor. Who has a low recoil gun? You know what? We'll mix up the operators a little bit. I'll show you how, like, you know, sometimes using a suppressor or a shotgun on Hibana is pretty decent. But yeah, Hibana would like this, the shotgun combo with SM, you know, her SMG is pretty decent. Oh, they have castle, by the way. So what we can do first is we'll obviously open up the breach, but for the most part, we're going to open up the castles for extra pressure. It's going to hope they don't have Cade or anything. Oh, he's fusing that. Oh, yeah, go for that. Oh, yeah, do it, do it. Oh, my God, Ash is inside. Hurry, do it, do it. Yo, Ash is just inside, bro. What is this? Boy, this ain't no tactical siege. Okay, let's just get the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so all of us are dead. That is fine. So now that we have the breach open, we can
Cash room.
get this open. You know what? We have time. I'm going to open up the rest of the castle barricades for some pressure.
See you on the other side.
I'm just going to leave that one alone. Flashbang going in. Oh my God, why? Oh, that worked. Okay, so he's in the room.
1 op 4 remaining.
We're back.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really mean to do that, but I meant to do it at the same time. I heard him in gym, by the way, so I'm gonna take a little bit more of a distance here. Gonna drone this. He is in the hallway. He's gonna come close here, isn't he? Okay, so I heard him come close in the hallway, so I was like, I'm just gonna pre-fire him. Why not? Wow. But yeah, as you can see, like I used the flashbang's good. Ebon's utility was decent too. What's another example I can show y'all? Maybe DMRs. Maybe let's show off, like, trying to think of what the people want. Fuck it. You know what? Just for my zero mains out there, just so I can piss everybody off that says, oh, MP7 better.
Locate a bomb.
Oh, people like on paper love things too much versus when it actually does not work in game. Okay, there's no way they went gym 3 times in a row. Bro, they went gym 3 times in a row. Like, third time is not a charm. You know what? I do say did not run the DMR, but just for this instance, I'll run DMR on Mav just to
5 seconds.
just to show y'all, like, if it's decent or not. Like, don't get me wrong, like, DMR on Maverick is fine, but again, it's just easier to use an automatic gun. Let me know if you guys like to drive manual cars versus automatic. I know people say manual's fun, but maybe I gotta learn it. I'm not much of a car guy. I know other people are. Now, a quick tip for, I know it's a loadout video, but you don't actually have to do the entire wall with Maverick. You can just do, like, get in between the stars, so like this. Let me see if I can do it without having to reload. Oh, close enough.
You located a bomb.
Okay, maybe I need to watch my own tips and tricks video. There we go. The wall open a little bit. Hello, anyone home? Okay, well, it looks like
Maverick.
Goyo's lit in construction.
we don't have a soft breacher, so I'm just gonna open this up myself. There we go.
Never mind, he's in the
Share
shower.
the electricity here real quick. Okay, so we're just going in. Oh my lord. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's 3v1, but I like the drone.
Is he dead?
No, he's in deeper. Logi. Gonna flashbang him and go plant the bomb because we're good teammates. Nice. You know what? I hate it when people just go for a kill and don't plant the bomb. Like, I have the bomb, obviously, so I'm gonna go plant. But now on defense, I mean, come on. I gotta show y'all the best. One of the best loadouts in the game, guys. SMG-11 and M590 combo. There's a reason why Jinxie clutches this shotgun. SMG-11, bro, one of the hardest guns to fight against. Highest damage and recoil, fire rate. Dude, everything about Mute is just so good. On paper, too. On paper and in-game. All very, very strong. Now, if you guys don't know how to set up site, go watch my YouTube video on that. I have a thing on how to defend every single bomb site in the game. How's your guys' night going?
What?
How's your guys' night going? Did you hear me the first
Alex
time?
being very tissy.
10 seconds left.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
No.
No. Why are you guys up playing Siege so late?
It's the only time he can.
What do you mean?
He works.
Oh, where do you guys work at?
I work for AAA.
Like the battery?
No.
By the way, I just heard him like the footsteps, so that's why I blew the C4. A tip for playing this hatch, if you put the corner right here, you can get an absolutely nasty one angle. And if we swing with confidence, you get rewarded. But also I see like I get pictures advantage, but at the same time I see their head and they see most of my lower body. That's just how like high ground and low ground does work. But since it's a very limited hole, it becomes like the little kill hole for me. I'm just surprised. It's actually a pretty good site setup. So Runegate is questionable, but another challenger. You know what? Yo, wait, I'm sitting behind this too. They can't see me behind this thing, right? Wait, he didn't see me. He can't see me. Okay, now he did. We got a shield on the hallway. I probably should have. Alright. Like I said, bro, like this thing is just SMG 11, like a headshot machine, and you just swing on a one-way, bro. They can't do anything about it. Okay, let's go kill this blitz down here. Is there a guy bullying you down here?
Remaining.
Come here, fight me like a man. Fight me like this, huh? You like that?
Friendly remaining.
Oh shit. Oh god, that was close. Bro, why Macy J trying to pull up on me, bro? Look at that skin. I shot him with a foot because, you know, he's low HP. Okay, what is this MVP screen, bro? What is this? Have a good night, fellas. Can't even hear anything. W carry 10-0. Hopefully. Hey guys, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this improved your loadout knowledge. Like, subscribe because we're on the road to 1 million subscribers, and let me know what you guys want a video on next. See you guys in the next one.